Yo, David.
Hi, Raphael.
Now it's
Yes, are
working.
you free or are you busy?
No, I'm I'm free. I'm free. I'll have a show with Andreas in an hour, but until then I'm free.
In an hour? Okay,
Yes.
then start recording. You got an hour.
Okay, all right. We're recording.
Yeah.
Welcome, David.
Okay. Now, the last time we spoke, I didn't think you would call it King Attila. I had no idea that. So now, because it's called King Attila, many people think the video is going to focus on Attila. Unfortunately, it doesn't focus on Attila, just on Attila. I'm saying unfortunately because there's certain things that people really, really need to know. The thing is, many Hungarians added me and Germans because, of course, they're interested in
Yes.
Attila. Yes. Now, the thing is, many people they think that the history that they learn in school, in what's it called, in Hungary or Germany or anywhere, they um, they believe half the things, and they think many of the historians in the universities and the so-called researchers are working for them. No, the researchers are all controlled by the state and all these institutions, and they will say what they're taught. So when you make a video, please put these things there. One, have a look at the first picture I've just sent you. Attila the Hun, he was the leader of the Huns for 19 years. Have you received it?
Oh wow, yeah. Nice. Nice one, yeah.
Yes. So the thing is, from the year 434 AD to 453 AD. Of course, if anybody reads all my books, they'll soon start to click on and understand who this Attila the Hun really was. Now, the thing is, let me send you a bit more information about Attila the Hun. And they say the only battle he lost, or the main one, they say sometime in Western Europe, they call it the Battle of Chalon en France. Yes, or sometimes they call it Battle of Catalonian Plains. Catalonia, notice again. You've heard of this battle, yes?
Actually, no. I'm not familiar.
They say this is the battle, where he got defeated. He was a loser. He couldn't defeat the Vatican, and the Visigoths helped the Vatican. So now that if anybody looks at Wikipedia for this battle, they're going to just say June the 20th was the main day of the battle. But most people don't know, according to Vatican historians and the Jesuits and the Catholic Church, and these monks, whoever wrote down the so-called history, the battle started on the 19th of June.
Of
And on
course.
that day itself, there was 15,000 casualties suffered by both sides. And then Attila was defeated on the 20th. Can you see?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, many people, of course, they're going to say these documents are from the fourth century, but they had to change it to the 15th, 16th century because we got a problem. If these documents from the fourth century, it's even worse. Now let's have a look at these Vatican documents that are found in in the in Venice and other places by the humanists. So if anybody reads my book Skull and Bones and the Last Crusade and everything, they'll soon start to understand. Now, Attila the Hun represented the Muslim threat to the
Right.
Vatican, and he was known as a Saracen. Hey, wait a minute. They're telling us the Saracen are Arabs, but the Saracen simply means the sons of Sarah. Israel. Yes, that's the meaning of Israel. Israel means the God of Sarah or the sons, the children of Israel, the children of Sarah or the Saracens. Yes, so now if the Middle East people are the Ishmaelites, then the children of Sarah are the Saracens. Yes. So why the hell are they calling the Muslims Saracens or Israel or the children of Sarah? So now this is one in these images, from the 16th century, but of course they'll say they're older. In Vatican city states, Attila the Hun is the king of the Saracens and the king of the Muslims. Yes.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, when people look further at Vatican documents, yeah, and you go further and you have a look at them, yeah, these things are very important because some people are going to say, why does David keep bringing this Quran and this Islam? Because let's have a look at this more now. Here is more so-called history, yes, of the so-called who are the Huns. Now, according to the Vatican documents, and there's many things like if you go through Josephus or Herodotus, everything. Anyway, it turns out says that the Jews, the Khazars, the Jews marched from the Caucasus to China. They were going around in circles, or they say after the Exodus for a long time they were lost in Asia, and these Khazars, and it says that their king was called King Felimur, or sounds like Timur, or Timur is Tim Adam. Yes. Anyway, it says whose great grandson was called Judas, and Judas is the ancestor of Hunnus, of the Hunnus. Yes, or the people who had horns. Now, the thing is, it's important for the people of Hungary to know this, because I'm going to go through this even more. Yes, that everybody thinks Hunno means horn or something, but no, if you consider, yes, that all these in Central Asia, they mysteriously have Arabic writing, the Uyghurs and the Uzbeks or whoever they're the last few people who were left there who didn't migrate. Or, if you go to Bashkortostan, Bashkor in Russia, Bashkaria. Yes, or if you went to Tataria in Russia and Kazan, they're Caucasians. And
Right.
those people, they use Arabic there and Arabic writing. But anyway, the grandson of Judah, who is the so-called Judah? Yes. And now the Hunnus, they came and they conquered Germany and Gaul. So who are these people? But now they're called Jews. But the Vatican says they're Jews. But if we go to the opposition, the Quran, it says there's Bani Israel, which means the children of Israel, and it separates them from Judah. Yes. So now the thing is, of course, the Vatican is going to call them Judas, the betrayer. Yes. So, but the Vatican is the betrayer. They reversed history, and then they put 19 years, got defeated on the 19th. But anyway, check this out. So these people are called Hunnus, or people with the horns. Now, the only people we can think of in Europe with the horns in history in a big way is the Vikings. So now I'll bring in Anatoly Fomenko, the Vikings, and Germanica and Gaul. So now we've got these people who've come from Asia. Now, when they say China, you have to remember Tibet was known as, was known as in the area of Uzbekistan, and those are the places in many of the times in medieval times where there was Prester John. Yes, the real John of the Apocalypse. Yes, yes. And so now we've got this thing. So these people, they're marching to Europe. Yeah. Yes. So now they're marching to Europe, and let's see what the Vatican records show. So now, if we consider the 1,000 years of forgery of history, we have a serious problem. Yes, because now let's look at this. The Lager, the Attila, Sebastiano Erizos, and Niccolo de Casolo, all these humanists and whatever, Jesuits, monks, Dante and the rest of them. Now, historians now, because they've changed it since the 16th century, let's look at this. The Huns and their kings are depicted, yes, they were all dog-headed, yes, or they had horns, and they were all Muslims. All of them were Muslims. Yes, according to the historical record. These records were changed only in the 18th century. So
Yes.
before the 18th century, in these, what the monks wrote down and the Jesuits wrote down and everything else, the Huns are called Muslims. But now then, if we consider Anatoly Fomenko's timeline, yes, and the so-called Prophet Muhammad, yes, and if he's 6th century and he's moved to the 16th century, then this means that Attila and the Huns, they were Muslims even before Muhammad existed. Because Attila the Hun is 4th century, if we add on the 1,000 years.
Right,
You
if the
see?
timeline is somewhat correct at least.
Yes, and now this is why the Quran says that Muslims and existed before the Prophet Muhammad, and he was just a new leader. And then the thing is, when it turns around and says that, when the Vatican, brainwashed, some of these Huns and they joined them, the corrupt ones, yes, in the 15th, 16th century, yes. And the thing is, and what do you call it? The Vatican states were fighting the Mohammedans, and the Mohammedans were Huns.
Uh-huh. Yeah, here it says
Yes.
Mohammedan Huns. And just to be clear, what it would be the distinction, just because it all gets mushed together in the past, between Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun?
Now the thing is, Genghis Khan will have to focus on a different time because
Okay, but it's clear that
I
they are
don't want to
separate
because
personalities. Just
today
to
I've
make
got
that,
controversial
yes,
information
but just to
about
make
this
it clear,
so-called
they are two different individuals in your understanding. Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun are two different individuals.
Attila the Hun is a genuine character.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Okay.
but Genghis Khan, they've mixed together several things.
All right.
Now,
Okay.
so the thing is, because there's so much to talk about Genghis Khan, I'll have to go through that another
Yes,
time
no problem. Just to be clear.
because I
Thank you.
don't have the pictures ready. Yes. So now let's go through more of this information. Yes. So now we've got Jean de Outremes, and he says the Jews marched from the Caucasus, whatever, and they were called Huns. So now, if we consider the thing is, all these documents that we've got about Attila the Hun, the only things we've got about him is the oral tradition. You know, people in Bulgaria, in Serbia, in Romania, in Poland, in Germany, and Austria. The oral tradition is so mixed because I've got people who are coming and saying, "Oh, David, you're wrong about this. You're wrong about that." And the thing is that they think it's a race. Yes, but now many of these histories we've got were written in the 18th, 19th century, let's say in Budapest or in Vienna, and they were written by the people who were in
Right.
power.
They're recent, yeah.
Written in Hungarian or in Serbian in
Yeah,
Belgrade,
yeah.
and people really believe these things. They really believe these
Even
historians.
my
So
history teacher, just saying, I had a history teacher and she was Hungarian. She fled early in communism and she always told us these stories, but they were always from the, of course, Hungarian manuscripts, most likely
yes.
already
So
written
now
in
let me.
Hungarian. Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Now the thing is, you can ask anybody who lives in Hungary right now. The government is promoting this Obust Taza National Park. I don't know how to pronounce it. Opus Taza National Park. I've sent it you. Now this is probably the most famous park in the whole of Hungary, and it shows when the Huns, the full history of the Huns, and they say they came and they invaded Hungary, everything. It is a National Heritage Park. Now, check this out. It was created in 1978 by the communists, whoever these communists were. They've given title as communists or nationalists, you know, with the Vatican involved and everything. And
Yeah.
it's got 19 historical buildings in this park. And they show how the Huns, the full history, the so-called fake history that they're giving of the Huns. Now, this park is obviously being updated, and you have millions of people going out there throughout the years. Now, the statue of Attila the Hun was inaugurated in this park on August the 19th this year.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting. Uh-huh.
And yes, and it's no, the thing is that I've given you a few things, but if you go through the full history, yes, of Attila the Hun and in Hungary what they're doing and many things, it's just I'm not lying to you. You can go through it, you'll see 19 this and that and other suspicious data that if you go through it all, you'll find that the full data is suspicious. That you will turn out and think, no, this is just bogus history. Yeah,
Yeah, even
of
this
course it's bogus.
article or the inauguration, whatever it refers to, was published this year on August 19, of course.
No, that was
It
the
doesn't
day that
stop.
they unveiled the statue.
Okay,
They had a
yeah.
big
It just
festival.
doesn't stop.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah. So now the thing is, let me send you more information. I'll send you what Anatoly Fomenko and other people showed about Attila the Hun, so that then you will understand. Now Dante is very important because now Dante is showing that these Huns, etc., you know, Muslims. Yes, but the thing is, if we go through Anatoly Fomenko's timeline, then this means that the Huns were called Muslims even before the Prophet Muhammad existed.
Hmm.
Yes, and then the Prophet Muhammad, according to you know, many Vatican, you know, so-called documents, yeah, was the leader of the Huns. So who are these Huns? So now Dante was a forerunner of the humanist movement, etc., etc. Humanist movement and the end goal of humanism is transhumanism. So now, last time I mentioned Hunsrich, but I didn't think this video would become so big and people would focus on Attila the Hun. You know, I didn't realize you'd give it this title.
Yes,
Now
well,
have
it
a look.
was, yeah, it was my fault, but apparently people are interested, and I hadn't heard about it
Yeah,
yet, and I had to
yeah,
pick a title,
that's good.
so.
This video, call it King Arthur, Attila the Hun,
All right.
because people must know it's the same person. Now, have a look at this. The Huns in the Middle Ages. Now, up until World War One, There was no such thing as people saying, "Ah, he's German." These are modern terminologies. People in Germanica were called Huns. I'm being
Mm-hmm.
serious.
Mm-hmm.
Have a look. I've sent it you, history.com. Yes, in America, even in the United States. Yes, and the thing is, and another thing is, yes, that the thing is, even if you went to Ireland, because Ireland has been, become Catholic. Yes, so now they're fighting the last few people in the north who are Protestant. But the thing is, even where did the Protestants get their Bible from? So now in Ireland, anybody who protested against Catholicism, now I've sent you a piece of paper. You can have a look. Even to this day, they call these people Huns. Yes, even to this day. Now the thing is, in World War One and World War Two, because the German language still hadn't dominated the people in the lands known as Germany today. This is why they didn't know what to call this place. Sometimes they call it Prussia or Parussia. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
or Polrussia. Yes, or Belarussia. They mix it together. Same like Belgai, Belgium, Belgium are Bulgar descendants. Yes, well, anyway, so now I've sent you Wikipedia. The usage of the term Hun to describe Germans, it was slowly disappearing because, the people in power were slowly removing it. Even Winston Churchill, he said, there are 70 million, Huns, blah, blah, blah. Some who are curable, it means that we can change them, and others killable. Yes,
And maybe let
and
me just bring up one thing that is always mentioned in the time of the, let's say, early 20th century. Obviously, the Nazis were against all kinds of minorities and so on, but apparently the communists were as well. And there again, we can see that it's just,
of course,
heads of the same Hydra, heads of the same Hydra doing
they
the same thing.
they destroyed Eastern Europe because you've got an hour. Yes, I'm not. I won't go on to the
Don't
Nazis.
worry,
The important,
I'll take as
the,
much time as
yeah,
necessary. Just go on.
yeah, yeah. Right, okay. The important thing is now somebody will turn and say, "How can he call the Germans Huns? He called them Aleman last time, Barbarian last time." Okay, now let's have a look at this. When the Europeans went to the Middle East, they divided those places into there was no such thing as Syria. There was no such thing as Iraq. There was no such thing as Kuwait. It was all Ottoman Empire. And today,
Yeah,
some people will say, they're Kurdish, or they're Turkish,
right.
or they're Iranian, or they're, what do you call it, Assyrian. Oh, these are Syrians, not Assyrians. Oh, these people are Alevi, or these people are Alawi. Wait a minute, they all live within 100 kilometers. Oh,
Yeah.
these people are Arabs. Or these people are Palestinians. Or these people are Jordanians. So they've already given them so many confusing titles on purpose. Now, the thing is, the term Hunnu, they started calling people these with the name Hunnu because they came with horns. Yes, the Vikings. Now, you might turn out and say, why the Vikings? So now the Germans were called Hunnu. And they were called Aleman also because they were the men of Allah. And somebody will say, Wikipedia says they're called all men. Allah means almighty, all encompassing. All these English words for all, everything came from the word Allah.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
this Germanic word. But anyway, so look at these things. Whoever this Churchill man, whoever he thinks he was, he's turning around saying these people are killable, and what do you call it? Later that year, during this time, Roosevelt referred to the German people, saying that whatever. But anyway, they said, malignant Huns, blah blah blah. Whoever he thought he was. Yeah, I've sent it you. It's on Wikipedia. So now the thing is, let me send it you even as far as back as World War One, is because the people were in villages. Yeah, they didn't speak German. Yes, the modern German. So now the thing is, they were called, the Huns. Yeah,
Hmm.
Huns, or they were called Aleman. Even in France, the modern French language, they couldn't hide it. Alemania. Yes, they couldn't hide it. Yes, and that includes the Western and Northern French and Denmark and all these other places. Yeah. So
Hmm.
the thing is, and then when they went to Latin America, they called them Hunsrich. Yes, Hunsreich. Yes. So now let me go through what Anatoly Fomenko has shown. I've done a screenshot from his book. You can post these on the video. It's important people know these things. So now the thing is, it turns out says, wait, let me send you. I'm sending you two things from Anatoly Fomenko's. Yeah, let me see, two. Should I send you two? Yes. So now from these two, Anatoly Fomenko goes through German documents. You know, they've already forged these German documents. God knows how old they are, but Fomenko says they're probably from the 16th century, updated, modified, etc. He goes through the saga of Tidrek. You know, Tidrek is supposed to be Theodoric, or known as Frederick of Germanica, and events that took place in Russia and the land of the great ones. Yeah, and the land of the great ones was known as Wilkinus, or in Latin, Velsinus or Velkinus, or of Russia, Veliki. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
or Velkin, or Viking, Velkin, Viking. You understand? Russia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Velkin. Yes, or as you go further west and south, mixed with the Latin, you know, they were mixing all these things together, you know, just to give different names and everything. Wiltinus Sagas. Anyway, they call these people Mongols, invasions, and whatever. Yes, and the Russian Prince Vladimir and Attila and these chieftain or the king of the Huns, they both lived at the same time. Yeah, and they call them Velkinus or Valkynus, Valkings. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so these people with the horns, yes, I've shown Attila, what's his name? Anatoly Fomenko shows the similarity in the names, and you know, they've invented different characters. Well, anyway, so Attila, what, not Attila, I mean, Professor Fomenko, he goes through it saying that the great ones are the Wilkins. Yes, in from the land of the Wilkins. They come from the north and they invade south, or the Vikings. Yes, the great ones. Yes, and these people, what do they do? Yes, and they have a great king called Ot or Otila or Otter or Otor. Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
the thing is we're using modern language. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Otter, Otter. That's why the Quran also says Dul, Tul, Harn with the horns. Yes. And we don't know if this is a name or if it's a title. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's known as the Great Khan. Yes. These are within their documents. We don't even know how to pronounce these things. Of course, they've given these, you know, modern pronunciations. So this king, he reigned over Russia, Greece, Hungary, and almost the whole of the Eastern Kingdom. He took over, and the thing is, he was invading Rome. Now, many people in Hungary, they're teaching people. Hungary is no, they're teaching people that Attila the Hun was invading Rome. So now we got a problem. The thing is, people can check this themselves on Wikipedia that only 400 years ago, Rome, yeah, including all the villages, I'm talking within 25-mile radius or 25-kilometer radius, we can only find, you know, 5 or 10,000 people. Now, if we take away the children and we take away the old people because there's a high birth rate, and we take away the women, that means only 2,000 men or 3,000 men maximum. So Rome didn't even exist. So they're telling us Attila was fighting, you know, east and west. You know, they've added on certain fabrications. So now this Attila is Atta or Otto.
Yeah.
Notice these things. Otto, King of Germany. Notice at the same time, if we add on 1,000 years, that they've put the forged history 1,000 years, then Otto becomes King of the Holy Romans.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And just to give one very simple example, because I posted this with, I was thinking of a name. I was like, okay, let's pick Attila because you said something I had never heard about. And then someone commented even and said, actually, the name is spelled wrong. And I was already thinking, like, am I completely confused? But no, the
Yeah, it's
English,
not a name,
the
it's a title.
no,
I'll
no,
give you an
no. I
example
just
now.
wanted to say that even here, within a few years, or within different languages, in Hungarian or whatever, it's written with two L, and in English, it's written with two T's. So just
Yeah.
understanding that even these small changes, and you do it over a few hundred years, a few times, and then, like you
Yeah.
said, Otto can become,
Yeah, and
all kinds of
and they
things.
need to know there's so many languages nearby: Bulgarian,
Yes.
Macedonian, Serbian, just to confuse things, different accents. They did these things on purpose. Yeah. So now, the thing is, so now, let me send you there's a lot of research done after Anatoly Fomenko, and there's many things people can check online. So now the thing is, if we go through so-called these documents by Piccolomino, all these Jesuits, whoever they are, people can go through these documents that we can't even tell the difference if he was called Italy or Attila.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's called Atta or if he's called Otto. Yes. So the thing is, and he was ruler of the Huns, or the people with the horns. So he was actually the ruler of all Eurasia. So now there is a problem, because many Bulgars are going to say, hey, we are the descendants of Attila. But then you can go to Bashkoria, or Balkaria in Russia. There is Balkaria in South Russia, south of Sochi. And they're going to say, no, we are Attila the Hun. This is our history. You can go to Iraq, and they're going to say, this is our history. And now this king who was called Orta in England, they will say, no, this is our history. Yes, actually, because it was a global empire. This is something, and they're trying to hide it. Yeah. And then I've sent you this paper, The Fictionalized Roman Empire. Yes. And the thing is, because the truth is, the Roman Empire, was in Rome, and Rome was Istanbul. Yes.
Yeah.
So they falsified that. So now let me go through a few of these other things, because this is really important for the history of Attila the Hun. Wait, let me see. Don't say I've lost it. I thought I had it right now. About Attila the Hun. Okay, so now the thing is, we've got the Knights Templar. They're in France and in Germany, and the Teutonic Knights, or the Tatar Knights. Yes, yes. So we've got these knights, or Tartaria. Tatarland means the fatherland. We've got all these knights, and the Vatican's fighting all these people. Now, in the fake history, they said the Knights Templar were the Vatican's men for centuries. But no, the Knights Templar were the Knights of Jesus Christ, as well as the Temple of Solomon, the Knights of the Temple of Solomon. Yes. And so, these people had swords and many other things, and many of these Knights Templar mysteriously spoke Arabic. Now, people can check on Wikipedia, and they will say the Knights Templar followed, that their leader was mysteriously called Ba, means father, and they say Baphomet. Now, this is very important, because many people don't consider what is Baphomet. Now, the thing is, if people really think Bapa or Baba, yes, and then there's Papa. So now, if we separate the two words, their leader is somebody called Father Bapa Emet, Bafa Emet, Baphomet.
Oh
yes?
My God.
Yes. No, yeah. So the thing is, I found this information only because of the Quran. If the Quran was not there as the opposition, we will not be able to figure this out, actually. So now the strange thing is, they're following a priest or a leader who is mysteriously called Father Emmet. So now the thing is, if we look at this in the Bible, it says that after Christ, the Spirit of truth will come. Yes, you've heard of this, yes?
Probably.
You've heard of this story. The church says it's the Holy Spirit. Yes. Well,
In terms
yes.
of the return of Jesus Christ or something like this, or
Yes, they say after Christ is coming the Holy Spirit. Yeah, they've messed with the Bible, but the Quran says no. The people were told after Christ is coming the Emet, or in modern Arabic Emet, yes, or Ahmed in in some dialects they say Ahmed. So Emet in modern Hebrew. Anyway, so now this Emet is coming. So now the thing is, the Knights Templar were followers of Baba Emet, or Bapa Emet, or Baphomet, whichever language you want to say. In English, Baphomet, but in some Latin, Papa Emet or Baba Emet, however you want to say. So they were following this father, Emet. So now the thing is, we've mysteriously got, yes, in the Quran, it turns around and says that Muhammad, or this prophet Muhammad, he is the Emet. And it says he's the Emet, and then it says, don't call him Baba or father. And the Quran actually says this history. It says, because he is not the father of any of you. He's just a human being.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and he is just a messenger that he's come with a message, and the message is the Quran with history, etc. This is very important. And then the Quran says that the enemy of this Emet or the Prophet Muhammad is a guy called Baba Lahab or Father Lahab, and it says don't call Muhammad, yes, don't call him father. And now the word Muhammad is two words. Yes, it's Maha means great or mother, and then Emet. It's a title, same like Attila is a title.
Yeah.
Now it's become a name, and it is also a name as well, if you want to say it's a name. But anyway, let's look at Maha. So now, if they were calling him father, yes, Maha or Maha, Mahamed, yes, because in Europe, in some languages, they say Mahomet. In France, especially, they say Mahomet, yes, or Mehmet in Turkey, or Mahamed, yes. Now, if we look at history, we find something strange. The Bible mysteriously ends, yes, the Old Testament, and the book of Maccabees, and the book Maccabees has been removed. I'm saying it in English, Maccabee. But now let's talk in some European dialects. Yes, you know Maccabees, yes? Judas Maccabees, he's fighting against the Greeks, yes, for Jerusalem and fighting for God, and he refused idolatry. You know this. It's in Jewish history, and in Israel, they don't teach it very much. But the Bible, the Vatican removed it. Yes, this book from the Bible, which is at the end, mysteriously. And his name, Maccabee, yes, is Mahaba. Mahaba.
Uh-huh.
Mahaba, father. Father Maha. So now the Quran says, don't call him father. Yes. And then, so can you see what I'm getting at? Yes, this Mahaba, Maha Emet, or Baba Emet, yes, the Vatican wrote down
Yes, yes.
he's called Baba
I mean,
Emet.
obviously, the Vatican is very much into calling everyone your father, even though they're not biologically, at
Yes,
least. So it makes sense.
yeah, yes, so the thing is, don't forget the history of the Knights Templar was written by the victors.
Yes,
They
of course.
defeated them and they
Yes.
wrote it down. Same like the history of Afghanistan. All we know about this place is what the newspapers and these historians and politicians have said.
But
We
then
don't really
it also
know.
makes more sense than this opposition between the church and the Knights Templar, that the church just made up that they were their men and that they were worshipping the devil or Baphomet and so on. Now makes a lot more sense if that's actually Mahomet, you know?
But
So,
now we've got a serious problem. Do you know what is the problem? If Muhammad, this prophet Muhammad, yes, was the leader of the Huns, and the Huns are the barbarians in Germany, this totally changes history because they've told us, oh, Islam didn't spread while this prophet Muhammad was alive, and he, according to the history that we find, that's in Al Azhar University in Cairo, or the British occupied that place for for many decades, and the
yeah.
French occupied it. Yes, and from what we know in Damascus, the British and the French were in Damascus and Baghdad. And these so-called Islamic history books that they've got in Tunis from the Zitouna mosques and everything, yeah, under the French administration. According to them, yes, it turns around and says when the Prophet Muhammad declared that he is the Emet and he is the Maha Emet, yes, the great truth, yes, when this was declared, he says only a few people followed him, yes, and only a few people. And when he died, it was only just one city or two, Mecca and Medina in Arabia. But if we look at what Dante and other documents that are related to it, this prophet Muhammad, he was the leader of the Huns and the barbarians and the Alemans and the Vikings, or Germanica, or you could
Yeah.
say Northern Europe, and those people embraced him. Yes, and these people, they're fighting against the church. It looks like the Crusades was actually against the Vatican. It totally looks like that. Can you see?
Also, this would relate to the whole iconoclasm, no? Supposedly, like you
Oh,
said.
the iconoclasm. Okay, the thing is, I didn't put this in my books, but the thing is, the thing is, Anatoly Fomenko said this, and the thing is, I'm not sure why he didn't go depth in this, or maybe he has, but or I've forgotten. But about the iconoclasts and everything. Now, Anatoly Fomenko clearly states that the Bible was the Old Testament was written after the New Testament, and then it was still being updated in the 18th century, 17th, 18th century, basically. So now, if it's being updated, how can the Old Testament be inside the churches? How can the Bible be inside the churches or in prayer buildings? Yes, it means it couldn't have been in the prayer buildings until after the 18th century because the Bible wasn't even completed. You see. So now this is one, and now let me show you. It's somewhere in my books. You've probably come across it in the Jesus Christ book, or the Crusades, or Skull and Bones. I've forgotten which book. Anatoly Fomenko has shown in his research that the Quran was being used in the churches.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, this is something very serious. Let me just send you that quote. But anyway, it's in Anatoly Fomenko's works, and it's in my books that Anatoly Fomenko says that in Northern Europe, especially the Orthodox Church, it didn't exist as a separate church or separate religion. That the Muslims today in the Islamic world, and especially the Eastern Europeans, the Orthodox Church, yes, was one religion. It was not two. Only 200, 300 years ago. And slowly with the conquests and separating the children and everything else, they created a new religion. Yes, now the thing is, many people are going to find this hard to believe. So now the thing is, let me go through this with you. The thing is, because now you mentioned the Orthodox art, what was you going to say? I cut you off, but you can complete it.
Oh, I don't know if I don't think I was saying anything about them in particular. Oh, there was something else I wanted to bring up also in reference to the whole Viking thing you said. To fit with the title, Attila the Hun, I looked up some pictures, and I was surprised at number one. On one of them, he was horned, just like we discussed. On another one, he had a hat, but he looked like Asterix, you know, this popular comic where he has like these wings on the helmet. Also reminded me of Hermes. And then also in a few of those images, it seemed like he had, I would say, like elven ears. Maybe this is supposed to look like dog ears. I don't know. But is there anything you maybe want to say about that?
Right. Of course, they do disgusting images to actually look bad. Yes. So the thing is, to make it look bad. But if we're going to go through the images, we're going to have to start from the beginning. Yes, because the thing is, to start with the beginning, starts with the historians say that the Vatican and Christianity started off in the Eastern Church. Yes.
But this would then just refer to Constantinople, no? Or Istanbul?
Have you found it?
Oh, now please repeat your last sentence. I didn't hear you, but I got the image, yeah?
Allah in Kufic.
Right.
Yes, I've sent it you with the numbers there, 1, 2, and 3. So they used the symbol of Allah and they fabricated the crucifixion. This is very important. I'll explain why it's important later, but because we've got we'll totally I'm going to get totally lost here now. So totally lost. So let's go. So I'll continue from the part you said about the ears and everything and the images. I'll show you how they forge images. So now the thing is, Anatoly Fomenko has shown that Eastern Europe was the same religion as the Muslims, and they were using the Quran. The Bible's not even complete. Yes. So only 300 years ago, it's the same. And then we've got that even in these so-called Christian history, yes, the Huns, the Germans are the Huns, the Vikings, they're all Huns, the horned people, the Valkines, all these people are barbarians, or Bar Aryan, or children of Aaron, or followers of Aaron. They were known as the followers of Aaron. They rejected the Trinity. They rejected the church. Attila the Hun openly rejected the church. Yes. So now the thing is, let me show you what they do with images and what they do with history. I've never shown anybody this. Yes, I was going to write it in a book. I was going to wait, but I'll bring it out today. Now, here is a man. His name is John Whitmore. He's in front of the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So now the thing is, you know, the Turkish nationalist government, yes, which was set up by the world order after the collapse of the Ottoman Empire. And we don't even know what the history of the Ottoman Empire. A lot of the photographs of the sultans and everything else are forgeries. Anyway, this man was from Cambridge, Massachusetts, from America. He brings this team from the Institute of America, and they come in the 1930s, and he's close friends with Mustafa Kemal Ataturk and everything. Here he is dining with Ataturk. You know, they're buddies, and they've come because they got a plan. Yes, as you can see, the people who are in this picture, the Turks and all of them, they don't look like what Turks looked like 100 years ago, like these so-called Islamic type of people. So they're having meetings and everything, what they want to do. So they're being financed and everything, and you know, by the oil industry, etc. There's many things. How to carve up the Middle East? What are we going to do? How are you going to make money out of it? How are we going to change history? Anyway, Whitmore, this guy, he's from Boston, and you know, so-called Byzantine art and everything. Ottoman Empire's just collapsed and everything, and he goes with his team from the Byzantine school in America. Yes, the Byzantine Institute, and similar teams went to Greece at the same time. Yes, to Athens. Yeah.
Right.
So now they go there, and their job is to restore Hagia Sophia as an Orthodox church. But wait a minute, these guys are Americans, and they're supposed to be Protestants, and they hate the Orthodox Church or whatever, and they're supposed to help in creating Turkish history. Yes. So the thing is, they don't hide it anyway. Yeah. People can study this. Yes. So now, anyway, this guy, he goes there, and then what do? Now, have a look. This is inside the Hagia Sophia. Now, the Hagia Sophia, if anybody checks through this, I know there's going to be Turks and Muslims who are going to say, no, we find this hard to believe. Yeah, but Islamic history is a forgery too. Anyway, here's Whitmore and his team. A few of them come, and they're inside the building. Yes. Now, this building, yes, they claim it was a mosque. Claim. Yes, now Anatoly Fomenko has shown that this was one of the buildings that King Solomon himself built. Now, the thing is, one of the temples of Solomon. But what were these temples of Solomon? Because according to even the Bible and the Old Testament, there was fire coming out of the temple. Yes. Yes. So what does it mean by fire? Yes. So now, anyway, so these guys, they're at work, and there's no evidence that this is August 1934. Yes, and their job, yes, they don't hide it. Yeah, this is official history. These guys are there, and what is their job and their duty? To transform this building into, yes, a Christian museum church for the to show proof that the Orthodox religion existed as a separate religion from Christianity and from Islam. So now look, in 1934, work focused on transforming. Their job is to change the Hagia Sophia into a museum. So there's 9 people originally in the delegation. Yeah, you can see. So now Mustafa Kemal's allowing this. I've sent you the paperwork. Yeah. So so now it takes them, you know, they're at work for the rest of the year and so on. And what do these guys do? Let me show you a picture of Mr. Whitmore, the American, and his team, and these guys, they've just walked in. And do you know what they're doing? They claim, now look at these pictures, because you'll want to see this. This is going to totally make you think, what the hell are these guys doing? Have a look. Here he is, with his team, and more people, more Turks are involved and everything. And have a look at what they're doing. Yeah, can you see the picture? Yeah. They claim that they found these Orthodox mosaics. They claim they've just found them. But you can see them, they're drawing everything there. And they say, this has been covered up for 500 years. And they say, we found it underneath the plastering. But if anybody looks carefully at the buckets and the paint and everything they brought with them, and you can see them actually drawing everything, they
Hmm.
took these pictures themselves. You understand?
Of
Yes.
course, yeah.
Now the thing is, look, wait, I'm sending you all these pictures. Put them on the videos. The world has to know about this, that it's a full forgery. The history of the Orthodox Church, no such Orthodox Church existed. Yes, and then these people who want to know about these buildings. Yes, there's all these free energy and these buildings talking about advanced technology and everything. They're all ignoring Anatoly Fomenko, or many of them now have noticed that because I've mentioned Anatoly Fomenko's work, and Fomenko himself has said, no, the Quran was inside these churches in Northern Europe, not the Bible. Yes. So now, because I've mentioned it, some people are saying, why am I mentioning it? Because it's important. Fomenko's research is not a joke. Now have a look. These guys are actually painting on the walls. They're putting Greek letters. Look at the mosaics. They're putting up Jesus Christ and these so-called Christian Orthodox saints and everything. Have a look. Have you had a look? Can
Yeah,
you see
yeah.
this
It's
forgery?
it's very obvious,
This is
yeah.
just a, it's not just obvious. This is just ridiculous. Can you believe they're actually doing this? Now, at the same time, these teams, they went throughout the Balkans. And not only that, they if you check that in the 1920s, 30s, yeah, these teams were there, that they uncovered the area around around Athens, where they say we found all this around these Roman theaters and Greek theaters and everything. We've just found it all. Now, many people will not want to know this. Now, some people are going to say, oh, after Anatoly Fomenko said it, yes, we've now been lucky enough, yes, that many people have just suddenly woke up and suddenly realized, hey, many of these buildings, yes, that were built 500 or 1,000 years ago, yes, that it couldn't have been, and these star forts and everything, people are talking about it now. So now the thing is, and everyone's going to say, I've sent you an example of a star fort. This is in Holland. They claim it was built in 1593. So now what the IS Sophia looks like in Istanbul. It's an amazing building. And look at the type of people they said built these buildings and these star forts. Have you got the picture? Showing these peasants in these villages,
Yeah, it looks more like
built
hobbits.
these places. Yeah, yeah, it's just a joke. So now they're telling us a joke. Now the thing is, in the Bible, nowhere in the Bible, nowhere in Western history, there is nothing whatsoever, not even a single document will turn around and say that these buildings were built, by an advanced, like today, advanced and a civilization with morals and ethics, a great civilization. Instead, they're telling us Northern Europe, we built these
Savages.
churches,
Only savages.
savages, barbarians, morons, killers. Yeah, Viking barbarians. They went around pillaging, looting, all this sort of, just garbage. They're just teaching us garbage. Now, the thing is that everyone's going to say, hey, so now let's look at the opposition. The opposition is the Quran. And do you know what the Quran actually says? Now, let me send you a picture of the Hagia Sophia. They're telling us, just in garbage. Look how amazing this building is, even to go inside it. Yes, and we see the pillars and everything that's keeping this building up. The Hagia Sophia is amazing. And then they're telling us there's a building across the road and it's called Sultan Ahmet Mosque. Now notice the name, Sultan Emet or
Hmm.
Sultan Ahmet. Emet means truth. And it says the spirit of truth is coming. The Emet is coming after Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ says, after me is coming the spirit of truth. And they say it's the Holy Spirit. Yes. And mysteriously, that building is called Sultan Ahmet. And notice the 6 minarets. And notice if you hold up the minarets, it looks like the menorah, the Jewish menorah, including the central dome, the 7. Yes. Have you noticed that? Yes. Let me just send you
All right.
this. Because the thing is, the menorah means you put a light, yes, or a candle, yes. So now, if anybody has a look at this, they'll say, oh my God, I didn't notice. It looks just like the Jewish menorah, the candles and the lights coming on. So who were the children of Israel? These are serious questions that
And
nobody looks at. Let
just
me
as we're on it, I
send
have to
you
bring it up.
Sultan Ahmed.
I was discussing this with Martin, with whom I was translating your
Yes,
interview with
go ahead.
Exertus, and we spoke about, strange names and so on, and we spoke
Yes.
about Koffa, which is one of those cities in relation to the whole Tartaria theme. And it's interesting that in German, you actually say Koffer to someone where you say, oh, he's a bit retarded or a bit stupid or something. And just now I was looking it up, and here it says
Yes.
it comes from Arabic and it means basket, which reminds me then
Yeah,
of
means
basket case. But then the other thing that came up just now as you showed me this symbol, I saw it before, but now again, the symbol for Allah.
oh, you're reading this from online? Okay. Okay, you're reading it from online. Well, what is the meaning in German? What did you say?
So I was just saying that in German, in colloquial language, if you call someone you're a Koffer, it
Yes.
it means something like, oh, you're a bit stupid, or you're a bit retarded or something.
Yes. Okay.
So,
Yes.
so just
Yes.
how words are
Yes.
being
Yes.
used,
Wait.
and
So now let
just
me
yeah,
tell you
yeah,
what
I'll let
is
you
Arabic.
I'll give you the space.
I've stopped you. Do you know why?
Okay,
No, no,
okay,
no. No, no, no. I stopped you. Do you know why? Because you are quoting what you're going to find online about the Arabic meaning of the word
right.
kufa. Kufa is very well known. Stop any Muslim and say, what is a kufar? What is a kufar? Do you know what it means? Somebody who is stupid and who denies God, even today. So now the internet meaning that you're going to find is based on the so-called fabricated translations and these things. This is why I've told people to be careful, because I investigated the same word that you're doing, but I investigated it many years ago. I found the same problem. Now, what to do is look up the word for unbeliever, that he's stupid, that he disbelieves in a creator, he disbelieves in the scientific proof for a creator, and they call them stupid. But anyway, the Jewish menorah. Yes, go ahead with the kufa. I hope my information
Yes,
helps you.
thank you. There is just one
Yes.
more thing, also in terms of these strange meanings and like gestalt seeing of things. You showed me the symbol for Allah now once again, and strangely, it looks to me like a stick figure drawing of
Yeah, the
somebody.
crucifixion.
Yeah, yeah, but it looks like someone, like the hand of somebody showing you the middle finger. That was the first thing that came to my mind. And I have no idea where this comes from in our
Right.
culture or
Yes.
something, but it's like by
Yes.
now with Baphomet and
Yeah.
so on,
Okay.
I'm very
Okay. Now,
suspicious.
now the thing is, if you will notice again that one part looks like a thumb and everything. This is why the thing is, whoever designed that symbol is actually from Spain. It's from Spain, and underneath is some writing from the Middle Ages or Renaissance or something. And the thing is, that is the symbol for Allah. But notice how the Vatican transformed that symbol into the crucifixion. Yes, that
Right.
on
Uh-huh.
one side the thumb or the cup, that is where the spear is, and the two of the people who are at the crucifixion.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just sent you that for um this thing. But the thing is, the important thing is that we don't get diverted, because now about the Temple of Solomon, and
Yes.
the thing is, the Quran says something. Now this is an official translation of the Quran I'm sending, but the thing is, many people don't realize what the Quran is actually saying about King Solomon. Now, if we take into account the 1,000 years fraud and the timeline, and King Solomon being in the Middle Ages instead of the ancient times, in the Quran it says that King Solomon, he built all these palaces, and he built whatever these statues are, or images or something. I'm not sure if that translation is correct. And then it says he built all these bowls like reservoirs. Yes.
Yes.
And on top of and beside these reservoirs are big buildings that are stationary, and they're heating buildings where they're heating something like an energy building. Now, if you notice that underneath churches, what you will find is that, let me give you an example. It's not just churches underneath star forts. Like, for example, there's a star fort in Africa in El Jadida city. People can find this online. And the thing is, this is one of the few star forts that's in Africa. So because it's not in Europe, they haven't really modified it that much. What you will find is that there's like a reservoir or something that's underground. Yes, and then you will notice that the building on top, that the Star Fort, or some people will say maybe it's a church or whatever that's on top. That some people that building is where they're heating something. Yes, and these things are providing energy or heat or something, and it turns around and says that they're cooking buildings, that they're boiling things, and they're built in specific places. And the Quran says that King Solomon built these places in many places, and the Bible actually says that inside the Temple of Solomon they were burning something or sacrificing something, and there was fire there. Yes, so people don't realize these things. But anyway, in the Quran, it says that King Solomon built these huge reservoirs. Where are they? Yeah,
Well, I'm
he
thinking
built
of the
these
Taj
huge
Mahal, for
waterways.
example. The Taj Mahal is like a huge temple with the water around it. I'm not sure how new it
Yes,
is or not.
and then there's a river right beside it. Yes, it says King Solomon built all these waterways. So now the Quran is actually saying that he built these buildings that look like cooking pots. Now look at the Hagia
Hmm.
Sophia again, in some translations it says that they look like kettles. What does a church look like? A church,
Yeah.
and there's round churches, rotunda churches. Many people don't realize there's so many round churches in England, in East Anglia, for example, that nobody knows what these buildings are doing there. Yes, and the thing is, many kettles that if you look at, from 100 years ago, people changed the designs that they look like they've got a dome on top. Yes, a dome. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Yeah. But just in case, because some people will say, "What's David on about?" Let me give some specific images. It's because the thing is, I was going to write about it in a book, but these days I'm too busy. If I never do, then I'm sorry to the world. People will have to check this themselves. Now, these stories are in the Quran, so this is how I found it. But anyway, the Quran says that he built these type of reservoirs or something, and many people will say they're called cisterns and cistercians. Yes, so people are talking about this now, but the story is already in the
But
Quran.
this means, just to
And
be
then it's,
clear, that this he would also have built the so-called aqueducts or whatever they say they have found. This would be the
right.
similar thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. Before we go on the aqueducts, I've just sent you an image, and this is going to make you think this is a power station. I forgot which one. This is in England somewhere. Have you found it?
Yeah.
A
Hmm.
picture of a power station. Yes. Notice the pipes coming out look like minarets. Now, this is a
Hmm.
boiling station, and the walls are similar to these stone churches. Now, have a look. Yeah. Have a look at this one. All you've got to do is add on those things to the churches, and then we've got cathedrals. Have you seen it in the new picture? Because there's
Hmm.
many cathedrals in Europe that do not have these steeples and other things. Have you found it?
So you would suggest that they have been altered and have been put there.
No, no, they have been modified. You can find pictures. You can find pictures of church buildings. Yeah, it's like, for example, have a look at this. This is supposed to be Erzurum Mosque in. Have a look at this ancient Erzurum
Uh-huh.
Mosque
Okay.
in Turkey.
Yeah.
Look at this building. What is this? Where is the proof that this is a mosque? Yes. So now the thing is um so now let me show you. Here is a picture of Ottoman Turkish Salonika. Have a look at this. They turn around and say, we don't even know what happened here. They turn around and say that in World War One it got destroyed. Have a look at all these minarets. Can you see them?
Yes, yes.
And they're going to claim that they're mosques. But now let me send you a picture of England, 100 years ago, and look at all these minarets. Yes, that you can see. Do you know what they all are? They're, like heating stations where
Hmm.
you're burning chemicals or refining things, or energy stations for the mining. Can you see it?
Yes. Hmm.
What is the difference between Salonika or Thessalonica, those so-called mosques, and that place there? Is there a difference? Can you see it?
Yes. Well, only our assumptions about the place, I would say.
No.
Hmm.
Um, at first, you will say assumptions. So the thing is, it's because many people have not gone into depth. Now the thing is, we've got these buildings that are like places in Turkey that where there's been no invasion whatsoever ever in 1,000 years, and look at these so-called mosques that are blown up, and they're telling us these buildings are mosques. It's a Seljuk mosque.
Mm-hmm.
This,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Now, let me send you. You'll find many of these mosques in Turkey. Yeah, look carefully at these mosques. Yeah. Now you tell me, what do you see?
Yeah, this
You're
really
not
looks
just
like
in
a
Turkey.
power plant, like even nuclear power plant or something. I don't know,
No,
or a
you've
coal
seen
power
these
plant.
mosques. You've
Yes,
seen these
yes,
mosques
but
in
it really
Serbia.
depends on the quality of the furnace, whether it would look like a mosque or just looks like a small factory or
Ah, okay.
something.
By the way, both those pictures are power plants.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Good.
I lied.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
because I want you to use your brain a little. Yes.
Yes.
So now the thing is, I apologize for lying, but
No, it's okay.
yes. Now let me send you a picture. Here is a mosque in India. Yes. This is a mosque in India today.
Hmm.
And notice the minarets, but here is the same 100 years ago. Now look carefully. The minarets have been modified. Yes. Look carefully.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
not
Hmm.
minarets. They're chimneys. Yes. And somebody will say, how can David say they're chimneys? Yeah. I'm going to send you, here is one, not far from where I am in England. The same chimney. This is from Cheshire, Quarry Bank Mill.
Yeah, we have
What
many
is the
such
difference?
buildings, even in Austria and Germany, I think. These like brick buildings with this type of style, chimney and so on. There's many, even.
But wait, these are the same chimneys that are in the Taj Mahal.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
Have you noticed? And
Right. Hmm.
that mosque, India or Pakistan, I forgot which one. But can you see? Yes. So now, let me send you, yeah, the same chimney. So now they've just added on the minaret in the last 100 years. The minaret's not there in the old photograph. So these are not forgeries. What I've done. So now let's go back to the before to the Orthodox Church. We got a problem. These mosaics don't exist. They were just drawn on recently. It's a full forgery,
Hmm.
yes, of the building in Constantinople. We got a serious problem now. So the full history of the Orthodox Church in the Balkans, and these people are fighting to death with their neighbors who are Protestant or Catholic or Muslims. What are they doing? Even in the war in the 1990s, people killed each other.
Yeah.
This is not a joke what these people have done. They knew that the thing is they had to hide these buildings because the Quran says that these buildings were boiling stations that people say are energy stations where they heated things, and there were industrial buildings. The Quran said it before you, all you Tartaria groups. Now, the thing is, somebody is going to turn around and say, why is David saying it? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to tell lies? Do you want me to just fantasize and make my own lies? Yes. Well, anyway, let me send you an example of these so-called churches that nobody uses. We don't know what they're doing in England. An example of all these round churches in the middle of nowhere in the countryside in England. Yeah. And
Uh-huh.
there's hundreds of churches that are blown up. Yeah. You'll find them in South America, in Europe, in Mexico, everywhere. Have a look at this building. Yeah. This church. Did they blow up because they were industrial buildings? That's what it seems to look like. Now have a look at this. Now they're claiming that power station I sent you before was Battersea Power Station. So now the thing is the nuclear power stations, yeah, and the thing and other buildings that we call mosques, yeah, are suspicious. Here is a mosque in Egypt. I've been to this one. Now this one is very suspicious. People don't even use it today. Yeah, people don't even use it today. We don't even, and of course they've redecorated them. Yes, Ibn Tulon Mosque is a classic one. Yes, and the thing is, people are going to say, "What are all these?" Now I've sent you that building with the domes, and then you can compare it to a modern power station. Yeah, this is Indian Point's nuclear power plants. Yeah, and you can compare it and to the minutes. Have you had a look to
Yeah,
the
it
buildings
looks
in Egypt?
eerily similar. So the idea would be that they were some kind of power stations.
Now somebody will say the idea is because they've not visited. Now I've just sent you. Now the reason why I said it in a strong way is because I've been to these places. Here is the so-called Ibn Tulon Mosque. Now the thing is, Ibn Tulon Mosque, yeah, from the air. Now, if anybody who goes to Egypt today, they'll notice that the area surrounding it is very poor, as if the residents have come recently. And Ibn Tulun Mosque from the air looks like this. Yes, and the people who are living there, um, uh, uh, there's no way they had the capability to build that building. In the timeline that they've given us, and with the sort of history that they've given us. Yes, so the thing is, what are these buildings doing in the middle of Cairo? I found about 100 of these strange buildings that are out of use, and they're saying, "Oh, these are ancient mosques. People used them a few centuries ago." This is what they're telling us. Yes, and now let me show you an example in a church. Now here is a church, because many people have not had a look at them carefully. Now look at this church and look at the sides. Yeah, there's many similar churches like this. Now look at this power station carefully, and look at the sides. This is a factory, an industrial building. Maybe it's not a power station, it's an industrial building. It's made of similar stone or whatever, like the churches. Now have a look. Can you see the similarity? Can you see it?
I'm checking it out now. Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see? Yes. Have you noticed?
Okay, so I'm trying to compare those chimneys. I guess what's really confusing about it is the
Not the chimneys,
ornamentation.
the sides.
Yeah,
The
the
sides.
sides. Yeah.
Yes, the sides. They've redecorated the sides on the churches,
Okay, so what I'm saying, yeah, this
with
decoration
statues.
makes it a bit confusing, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's so many. It's like the thing is, even in the Tartaria groups, people look at this. This is a power station industrial building. It's so easy to convert these buildings into churches.
Right. So the
It's a
idea would
piece
be
of cake.
that basically all those power stations, whatever they did exactly, were redressed as different religions to give everyone a reason to
No,
kill each other.
wait, no, I've sent you some buildings that are industrial buildings, not
Yeah.
just power stations. Like they're used for industrial buildings. So the
Right.
thing
Could
is,
be different
all
things.
they've
Yeah.
done.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So they've modified. Look at this. This is supposed to be a mosque. You can see what they've done there. They've just added on the.
Uh-huh.
It's in Diyarbakir. Look at this mosque complex. What is the difference between this and church buildings? And they've just put on now in Europe you've just got to add on the tower and the steeple. Here they've added a minaret on. Can you see the
Yes.
fraud?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's just a total fraud. That the thing is, this is why people. I've noticed these Tartaria groups. If they're just going to be racist, I call them openly racist, and thinking, oh, we're not going to have a look at the Islamic world and anywhere. If they're not going to look, then they're not going to see how these so-called ancient mosques are exactly the same like churches. Like, look at this cathedral that's in France. Albi Cathedral. Look on the outside. What is the evidence that that is not an industrial building?
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing to show that it's a church. Can you see it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nothing whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever.
And
Yes,
just to
can you
say it
see?
again, yeah, I can see it because I really figured it out when I was in the countryside, where there is also one of those buildings in the middle of nowhere, next to a castle, supposedly. And there I really noticed that if anyone goes to a church or maybe also mosque, most of the things inside, the altars and so on, they are just like wooden furniture. So this is the easy part to imagine. Then you add in the
Yeah,
mosaics inside, takes a bit of time, and then maybe a little bit more effort you have it on the outside. But anyhow, it's
yeah,
very popular for many of the important ones that there's always construction going on, so they had plenty of time to add stuff
yeah.
on and so on. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, now I sent you a picture of what it's like inside different types of power stations. Underground, they have to have a reservoir. Yes? Yeah.
Right. Hmm.
Now, under many of these churches, we have these crypts. They've thrown bones inside them, skulls and bones now,
Yeah.
underneath.
Hmm.
Now, have a look at
Hmm.
inside. Now, the thing is, I was going to write about this, but this is Chartres Cathedral Crypt. Yes. Now, the thing is, many of these places were called cisterns. Yes.
Yes.
Now,
Hmm.
and Notre Dame Cathedral crypts, let me send it you. And the thing is, many of these places are filled with water, and many people don't understand, and many of them are broke down, no use. And the thing is, they're basically identical to many of these power stations or other things, Bio Cathedral Crypt, they've just redecorated it, drawn a bit of drawings and something, Jesus Christ or whatever, and everything. And they're making people saying, oh, it's only a few bones of saints, or they've dumped, killed people, so-called fake pictures of angels. Same like the Hagia Sophia Temple. They've just drawn it only in the 20th century. It was only done in the 20th century. Now, if somebody's going to say to me that something else, same like, let me just show you, it's just a total joke. Yeah, yeah. You can see it. Yes.
Yes, yes, yeah.
You can see.
Yeah.
I'm looking for pictures of the cisterns, but I don't have any ready. But El Jadida is a good one because Morocco, nobody bothers to go there, and they haven't modified the third world or the Islamic world yet. But the thing is, they're going to turn around and say, the Portuguese, the Jesuits, the church, and the rest of these boys, they came here and they built this place. And the thing is, you'll find videos online of it. And then the thing is, you'll think, what the hell's going on? Underground cistern? Under these churches, Cistercians? Yeah, some people have sort of like figured it out. So now the Quran tells you clearly.
Even there, sorry, just like you said, there is Cistercienser. Is an order. Cistercians is a Catholic order, no, of monks or something.
Yeah,
even.
now they say it's a Catholic order. Who said it's Catholic? So the thing is, these orders, like the Order of the Knights Templar, look at the name again. The Knights of Christ of the Temple of Solomon. Solomon.
Yes.
And Freemasonry's secret is Solomon. And now the Quran tells you about Solomon and says Solomon built these huge waterways and these huge bowls, yes, that look like reservoirs with buildings that are there that are heating, obviously heating the water, and they look like kettles. And they look like, with the chimneys or the sticks coming out of kettles. Yes. So the Quran already tells you this. So now the thing is, when the Muslims have been saying this for centuries, everyone said the Muslims are crazy. Now in the Tartaria groups, yeah, they've turned around and started saying, oh, these buildings resemble, industrial buildings and power stations. Didn't you look down on these so-called Muslims for centuries? Oh, you still look down on them, and you still don't want to consider that Anatoly Fomenko said, hey, the history is different according to that. Yeah. And then some of these people are saying, why is he bringing the Quran? It's because of the Quran. It made me re-question. Yeah. It made me re-question that Anatoly Fomenko said, this is the temple, a temple of Solomon. Yes, and he said they claimed it was a church, and then now they're trying to claim it's a mosque. But the Quran doesn't say that Solomon built a mosque. The Quran says Solomon built these buildings, and under the Hagia Sophia, I'm still looking for it. Under the Hagia Sophia is these so-called cisterns or whatever. Istanbul cistern. Let me see if I could find it. Yeah, it's so amazing. It's so big.
I mean, the one part that's part of the official history is always to say, oh, the Romans had these nice baths and so on. Or, in Hungary and so on, there's so many places.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
Places, we call them baths. Now, look at this. Do you know when you look at this and you go underground in Istanbul? So now whoever built the Temple of Solomon or whoever built the Hagia Sophia, look at this place underground. Yes, when you go down under Sultan Ahmed. Now, I mentioned Sultan Ahmed. Do you know why? Do you know what's so crazy? Anybody who looks at the geography of that area. Now, the Sultan Ahmed area, let me send you a map of this place. Yeah, because the map, you will soon notice, oh my God, many people, why haven't they realized this? Let me just show you a map. Yeah, churches. I was on the wrong page. Let me see if I've got a map here. Well, a map of the Bosphorus. Yes, I can't find it. So let me see. Now the Bosphorus and right. The thing is, the Bosphorus. Somebody will notice. I'll have to write in Hagia Sophia area. Map of that area. Oh, I missed out the letter M because it's very suspicious because hardly anybody lives in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is something else I want to get at. Yes, that if somebody looks at an aerial view, I totally examine the place where these mosques are from the air. Ah, yes, I found a perfect picture. Oof. Or otherwise, people will think, oh, David's just saying this because it is so strange, yes, that in that area, there's too many mosques anyway. They call it Sultan Ahmed area, and there's too many mosques in that area. And what doesn't make sense is that hardly anybody lives in that area. And surrounding that area within, I'm talking within 30 minutes, God knows how many, another 5 or 10 huge mosques that that could hold thousands of people. And the thing is, it just doesn't make sense that somebody's going to build a mosque across the road.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But have you been there?
No, no, no. I was just
Uh,
thinking of all the, even in Austria, I don't know how old they are, but like there's these small churches everywhere, you know?
Next door to each other. Yes.
Like everywhere. And
In
it's,
Czech Republic,
and
also in
also
Prague.
even they look like they could be like small chimney buildings or something, you know, like a small building
Yeah,
with a big
they're
chimney.
industrial buildings, mining industry, and many people are calling it free energy. No, people worked in the past. Civilizations worked in the past. They built, yes, and then the Vatican and the boys came along and they destroyed, and then they hid everything, changed the history, and now we're rebuilding. Yes. Well, anyway, I sent you a picture. Have a look at this, and you'll think this is totally suspicious. Look at this. What type of nobody's living in that area, and we've got huge buildings that
Hmm.
they're saying, oh, they're for mosques for thousands and thousands of people. We don't see anybody living in that area. Yes. The thing is, and anybody who's been there, yes, many of the houses were only built in the last
Right.
20 in the last 50 years. Now the thing is, if you look at there's not enough population for the number of mosques
But
that are
just
there and
what would this
everything.
suggest, that these factories were like autonomous or whatever they were doing? They didn't need large
No,
residential
these buildings
buildings
were
or?
industrial buildings, and industry is linked to power. Maybe they were used for power production and industry both. Now,
Hmm.
the thing is, because many of these buildings are similar, somebody else will have to investigate
But still
which
there,
building was which.
yes, but still there would have to be something about this technology or just the history that it has to be hidden in this way. Is it only about hiding the history, or do you think it's also hiding about different types of technology?
Now, the thing is, the technology doesn't matter anymore because the thing is, they hid it and they're bringing the technology out. They brought out the power. And if many people are going to say, hey, we're working to pay power, no, you're not really working in many countries because, money is paper and they control the food supply. They print the money. They've created a lot of artificial state jobs, company jobs,
Yeah.
many of these companies that you can't trace on the stock exchange. This is why I wrote about the modern world, Donald Trump, the economic data to show with the 19, the falsification of economic data, all these,
Yes.
artificial
Yes.
jobs, because they're keeping you busy. They control all the land, food production. In Hungary, they haven't controlled all the land yet. Yes, but if you go to Germany, you'll notice that basically all the land is all these corporations by license to the people in power are manufacturing the food.
Yeah.
And then they don't even produce many of the food in many of these places. The food is wasted or they don't even bother.
Yes. Yes.
And then they're producing it elsewhere. Yes, it's a total joke. But anyway, the thing is, we have very genuine problems because we started with Attila the Hun, who's
Yeah.
also known as King Arthur. Now it says King Arthur had his 12 knights round the table. Yeah, or Thor of Scandinavia. And then somebody said it's a myth, but I'll reply to that in a minute. So now there is the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. 12 tribes. So Attila the Hun, he led the 12 tribes and everybody else. Now, the thing is, if you have a look at Attila the Hun's empire, it spread from east to west. Now, they're just going to show us that it was from Asia to Europe, but the Quran goes a step further and says Attila went to the east and to the west. And he went to where the sunrise and sunset, and he defeated the Gog and the Magog. And he is the one who built a barrier between the Gog and the Magog. Now the Quran mentions this. Now, and it shows that Attila the Hun is greater. Yes. Now the thing is, many people are going to be disputing about Attila the Hun. Look at the Christians. They're disputing about Jesus Christ. Yes. Look at the modern followers of Judaism. They're disputing about Moses. Look at the Muslims. They're disputing about the Prophet Muhammad today. The thing is, if the world is going to carry on doing this, it's like hero worship, yeah,
Yeah.
they're not going to get anywhere. What they've got to realize is Attila the Hun, he came, he went. The Prophet Muhammad, he came, he went. The Prophet Moses, he came, he went, and they betrayed him too. Yes, even after everything he did, they betrayed him and almost with their civil factions. Yes, called Korah or Korath or Korath or Karun, and with the idol worship system and the banking system with the gold, they still betrayed him. Yes. So the thing is, if they're, because some Hungarians have written to me, yes, and they've turned around and said, hey, this, that. Attila the Hun, he didn't do it because Attila the Hun followed Attila the Hun. He did it because he believed in the creator and the God. Now, it's up to you if you want to believe in a creator and a God. And if you are a follower of Attila the Hun, this is not about following him. This is about being good, a good person. Attila, his enemies, he invited them, he gave them food. Yes. And even if they modified the story, yeah, he gave them wealth. He welcomed them. Now, there is many people who follow Attila. And of course, there are many problems with, the Roma and the Gypsies and the Jews in Hungary. But some people are saying, hey, look, there's Jews amongst us. Hey, people can live anywhere. What about the Hungarians who are millions of Hungarians who live outside Hungary? Yes, they have to remember that. Same like Hungarians are guests in Canada and the United States. There's Jewish people who live inside Hungary. And those Jews, they don't look like the Jews who look like in, let's say, Iran, for example, because they are Hungarian people.
Right.
They are Hungarian people who accepted the Old Testament that the Vatican falsified. And they don't realize, yes, that parts of it have been falsified. Yes. So now, and then there is the Christians. They are following the New Testament that the Vatican has falsified. So there is many followers of Attila the Hun who are saying, hey, the Christians are this and that. It makes my heart bleed, etc. If you want to do something, build a better civilization. The Gypsies are welcome. The Jews are welcome. Everybody is welcome. Now, if somebody said to me, the Jews are buying up in Hungary. Look, they've got so many synagogues here. How much has China invested in Hungary? How much have the Germans invested in Hungary? Hey, how much have the Arabs invested in Hungary? Millions. How much have the Americans invested in Hungary? How much have the Turks invested? They've invested more than the Jews. So this is something that the people in power, they want this racism and this division.
Right.
They
It's a
know,
diversion always, of course. Diversion, yeah.
yes, they know that Judah and the Vatican, the judges, yes, the European Union is now the representative part
It's
of the
the new
Vatican.
the new Judica, yeah.
The new judges, yes, who are making all these resolutions and demands from Hungary. Yes, all the time. You must do this. We'll fund you for this. We'll fund you for that, etc. You've
Right.
got to bring these standards in. Yes, and there are many people who are opposing the transgender agenda, but the ultimate game is transhumanism.
Yeah.
Yes, which is even further. This is why they were called humanists, the Vatican's agenda. Yes, so that there is no such thing as a human anymore, where you mix humans with animals, with machines, with you mix male with female. That there is no such thing as a human anymore. Yes, this is the policy of humanism, and this is what the Vatican's objective was, a few centuries ago, and this is what the Huns were fighting for. And the Huns, yes, they are from the children of Israel. This is what the evidence shows. Yes, they are the barbarians or the followers of Aaron or the Aryans. Yes, the Germans are too. Yes, they are Aleman, and the Aleman were also called the Swabians or the Suevi. Yes, because the word Slavi or Suebi in Arabic means that they were the praiseworthy, followers of the one God. And like you mentioned last time, you know about the Arab streets. I cut you off last time, but today it's in my book. I forgot in
Yes, I think I
Lumiere.
had actually first read it in your book and then I saw it again
Yes,
online and I was
yeah,
wondering where did I read this first? And I was like, oh
yeah,
my God, it's so obvious. Yeah.
yeah. Now the thing is, what I've done is, um, I'm going to give it. I think it's in the book Lumiere. I've actually forgotten which book, but anyway, um, the thing is, not just in America, but in many places, they were calling um, they were calling the people Arabs. Yes, the Europeans were called Arabs, and I said this to you know, what's his name, Andreas too, that the Arabic language came from the north and went south, and many of the people in the Middle East couldn't even speak Arabic, and they had dialects, same like Europe had dialects, but then the
Hmm.
nationalism was a poison to divide everybody. Yes, and then they modified the languages to create these modern languages. But let me see where this thing because this is very shocking information. Where is it? Don't say I haven't got it. I'm sure I saved it for you. Um, I thought I'd prepare it, but uh, looks like I don't have it.
So then, just to make sure we make justice to the
Ah,
title.
yes. So the thing is, so that
Yes.
you can put it in the videos because this is very important. Yes, and I'm glad you pointed this out because it's not just in America. This was in Latin America where Armenian children disappeared from Turkey because it's strange. The Turks, in World War One, they were having about 5, 10 kids, children. Yes, at that time, it doesn't make sense that the Armenians are going to say the Turks took all our children and they needed more population. Yes, is one theory. Yes,
Hmm.
whereas we've got evidence that when the French and the Italians and the Americans and the British occupied half of Turkey. Yes, the thing is, mysteriously, all these children were being shipped out through Greece. Yes, and they used the Greek army, whoever the Greek army was. Maybe that was the French army. We don't know. But anyway, these children got shipped off to America, Latin America. Well, anyway, I've sent what you said, nickname for these children who were being brought from Europe to America after the 1850s. Yeah, because they came from Eurabia or Europa, so they were called Arabs. Yes. So,
Hmm.
so this because they came from Arabia. Eurabia is Arabia, Europia. Yes. So the thing is, this is clear, but people are going to say, uh, they can say what they want, and then the orphan trains, the word orphan is a modification. They've just modified this word in the last 150 years. But the orphan children were called Arfans, Arbans, Arban, Arabians. You understand?
Hmm.
And they were
Hmm.
brought from Germany, Holland, and everywhere. That they updated the dictionaries, even with their updated, modification and the joke. You can still find it. That the word orphan, they claim it came from ancient Greek, whatever. Yes. And then they say, oh, it came from proto. They give you these strange
Yeah,
words.
yeah. It always
The
comes
hell
from
does this?
another new thing they just invented and claim it's
Yeah,
old. Yeah,
Proto-Indo-European.
yeah, yeah.
So what the hell does that mean? India, Pakistan, Iran, Turkey, Greece, to Italy, to Germany, and then it's mixed with Sanskrit, Arba, Latin, Orbus, yes, and German word Arabi, yes, it means heir, or the heir to the throne, yes. So these people, it was just Arabia, Europia, yes,
Uh-huh.
and then they changed it to an E. But things are very clear. Yes. So now the thing is, but I'll say this because this is very important. People will say, "What's he talking about?" 19. Now, many people know that there's many organizations, communist organizations in China. There's the Knights, modern Knights Templar, the modern Masonic organizations, modern Rosicrucians, CIA, FBI, FSB, many organizations, and everyone says the number 33. Well, the flower of life has nothing to do with death. Yeah, I'm going to say this because many people should know this. Now, the flower of life is just geometry, so that when you teach children in school, so that they can learn how geometry and mathematics works. Now, I've sent you a picture of the flower of life. Now, the flower of life has got 19 circles. Now, when you put the flower of life in a three-dimensional shape, there's 33 balls. Yes, round circles,
Right, I saw that.
33.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes. Now, the thing is, inside the flower of life, what you'll notice is that there is a cube inside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now let me go through this, because the thing is, people will say cube, Kaaba, Mecca. Yes, this is very important, because many people are they've got no idea of what the old world system is, or the new world system. People don't understand these things. So the thing is, I'm going to try to make it easy for people, because what the people in power have done, they want you to think it's to do with devil worship. They want you to think it's to do with Masonic, this, that, everything. But the truth is, this is just simple knowledge. It's just mathematics. It's about knowledge, and they don't want you to have this knowledge. Yes, they don't want you to have this knowledge. So let me just go through the flower of life, so that people can understand this. Yeah. The thing is, let me show people. So the thing is, it starts from the alpha and the omega. So I'm going to show them, and you'll find this throughout the land of the barbarians. You'll find this in Hungary. You'll find this in Germany. You'll find this in England. You'll find this in Italy. The alpha and the omega symbol. Now, the alpha and the
Yes.
omega symbol, yeah, is simply Allah. Yeah, somebody's going to try and say it's Ella, but since when? They should go and watch Sesame Street again. The letter A is Ah. It's an Ah. It's not the letter E.
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Sesame Street. I think I should watch Sesame Street again. Hey, this is the letter A. A for Allah. Yes. Yeah. It just but no. Many of these people will say no. Well, anyway, I've sent you a picture of Alpha and Omega again
Mm-hmm.
inside the circle with the 6 points. Now they're trying to tell us, these barbarians who had this Alpha and Omega, they were dumb idiots. Now if you look at the symbol, yes, the flower of life, and then yes, they call this the beginning of it, the flower of life. They call God the creator, the Alpha and Omega. So now let's look at the seed of life in geometry. The seed of life is the flower of life with 6 of the circles. Then you've got 7 circles, the seed of life. This is in my book Matrix, and many books it explains the 19. So the 19 is from the flower of life. So now you've got 7 circles, and you've got the seed of life. And now when you when you look at this, I'll explain in a diagram.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the flower of life, then you've got the seed of life, and then you expand it. By the time you expand it, anyway, what you get, yeah, my book explains it in more simple mathematics, the Matrix, and some other books. What you get inside the flower of life is that you get 6 circles of 6, or 666. Yes, it's simple mathematics. And now the thing is, there's 19 circles to create the 666, and if you do it 3-dimensionally, you get 33. So in simple terms, yes, you can create 666. Yes, from the light flower of death, and it comes from 19. Now inside here, yes, somebody will say, what are the 666? The different circles, I've put them in red, blue, and green. Yes, the 666. Yes, inside there. Now, when you look inside the flower of life, yes, what you will get is a cube. Yes. And now, to make the cube a bit more simple, to show everybody, yes, it is in a 3-dimensional format. I've sent it you there, and you can see the cube. So now in the old world order, people have to think, yes, people will say Arabic once again. Now they're teaching us, and they're telling us it's algebra. Yes, to do with mathematics and gematria, or geometry, because I've just shown geometry. This is the geometry of flowers and everything to explain it. Now, geometry, from there you get gematria or gematria. Yes. Now, in the old world order, they used Arabic. Yes, that's why Arabic was the vehicle to learn mathematics, science, and everything. And they can't deny this because there's too much evidence that it was in Arabic,
Yeah.
because they destroyed a lot, but there's too much evidence. So now we've got algebra. Now, if we focus on the Arabic language, Jibra'el means angel Gabriel. Gabriel is English. Yes. So now we've got Jibra'el algebra. And that's why people say angel numbers 1 to 9, Alpha and Omega, first and the last, 1, 9. And that's why it's 19. My books explains it a bit more. So now the thing is, as you've noticed, the Kaaba is in the shape of a box. This is where you get the English word books from, that you get knowledge from books.
Hmm.
Yes? Yes. So that's why they call it a box. And that box is books. It's the knowledge. It is nothing to do with superstition, Kabbalah, oh, by the way, Kaaba, cube, Arabic word once again. But no, they're trying to say it's to do with Hebrew and everything, modern Hebrew. That's a lie. Yes, Kaaba. Yes, cube. Yes, the Kaaba in Mecca, and then it's called Kabbalah. It's because the Kaaba is to represent the box. So when they say Kaaba Allah, it means the book of God.
Hmm.
Do you see? Yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Are you beginning to see what I'm explaining? So now the thing is, many Jewish people wear it on their head because they're trying to say we should learn the knowledge of God, and you should carry it. But the Muslims, they memorize it. They went one step further.
They put it inside their head, yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah. So now I'm looking for something. The thing is yes. So now the thing is knowledge. Yes, knowledge, books, and box. So the thing is I'm going to show somebody. I'm going to show you in pictures now, because people sometimes I turn around and think, hey, why? Never mind. But anyway, box. So now the thing is, so somebody will say the Muslims are worshipping knowledge. No, they found the knowledge and they're worshipping the Alpha and the Omega. And
Hmm.
then the Muslims bow down on the floor because do you know, I think many people, I think many people should have a look at this themselves. Yes, I'm sure many people have been to a funeral. Yes. Yes, many people have been to a funeral, and let me show you what happens at a funeral, because this is very important. Yes, what you will see. Let me show you. This is very, very important. Yes. What you will see is people are devastated. If you go to a graveyard, yes, you'll see
Hmm.
people who are devastated and they're on the floor, and they're beside their loved ones. So now, when the Muslims, it took me a long time to understand this, because even I couldn't figure out what they do. Yes, when they did their prayer actions. At first, when they start praying, I noticed they lift their hands to their head. Yeah, that
Hmm.
is the same like, if somebody's pointing a gun at you, you lift your hand and you say, I've surrendered. So the Muslims, when they start to pray, they're communicating with God. They lift their hands and they say, we've surrendered. Then when they get on the floor, they're showing that they're together with the earth. It's a symbol. It's symbolic. They're together with the earth and everything. And then they say that we've learned the knowledge. So then they say the knowledge came from the book, and the box is supposed to represent the books. Yes, we've not learned the knowledge. We've accepted the information, and we want to be a better person. And we worship. The word worship means love. We love only the Alpha and the Omega, or the Creator, and
Hmm.
that's why they actually call the Alpha and the Omega Allah. But oh no, the Vatican is going to say it's Le or Allah. Yes, and but people should have a look at Sesame Street again, and they will see the letter A is not a letter E. Yes. So now
Yeah.
the thing is, Kabbalah is just about knowledge. So now the thing is, in the old world order, people learned this knowledge, and what did they do? Yes, let me show you what people did in the old world order. What people did in the old world order, yes, is the old world order was not so long ago. Yes, what they did was they learnt the Quran and they learnt this knowledge, from the Kaaba or the box or the books of God. They learned the books of God. When they learned the books of God, they graduated that they put the box on their head, and this meant that the books and the box is inside your head, the graduation hat. Have you got the picture?
Yes, I'm familiar with this, yeah.
Yes. And then they're wearing the black thing, yes, to show that this is sacred knowledge, secret knowledge. And the word sacred comes from the word sahra. Yes, Arab, which just happens to be an Arabic word again. So as we can see, yes, this system was here before. It is nothing to do with worshipping a cube or anything, but the New World Order wants you to think it's mysterious, wants you to think the Kabbalah and all these things are crazy, because they are the ones who are building triangles, circles, and boxes all over the world, because they want you to be lost and mystified. Here's a triangle, here these strange circles, or whatever they're building for whatever their reasons, their pathetic reasons are. Let me just send you they built them around the world. Now somebody's going to point out and say, hey, have a look. The New World Order built this. But that just because the New World Order wrote about Attila the Hun doesn't mean that that is the truth. Do you see? Just because the New World Order wrote their New Testament for their new world, yes, and said this is the true version of the history of Jesus Christ, doesn't mean that that represents Jesus Christ. So now what they've done, have a look at these things. Yes, many people online are going crazy about them, and they're just being superstitious, and they're coming out with their theories, but they don't even have a look at the old world order and have a look at what it's all about. Look at these. And they're showing, here's a cube that's here in New York. Here's a cube, in California. This is because the New World Order is trying to put their knowledge out, their books, their garbage. But the opposition from the old world order, yes, the Muslims today, they are saying, no, we learned the knowledge from the books that God gave, and the knowledge that God gave to the so-called, messengers. Like, for example, even in the Bible, it says, and God taught Adam the names of all things. God taught him. Yes. So the Muslims turn around and say that the books or the books, the true knowledge comes from God. And that's where the word cave comes from, kava, kaf, and that's why it was called, cube or cave. Yes, the secret knowledge of God, that God gives you this knowledge. Now, the thing is, what these people are doing on the opposition, they're using this same mathematics, which is three-dimensional, it's mathematics as well, and they're using it to spread lies and tell lies. Yes. You see? Yes. It's because somebody will turn around and say, hey, this geometry, we use it in accountancy and in finance. Now, when you do an account sheet manual, you will do input and then output. How much money you invested, how much has come out. You paid this bill, you brought something, you sold it at this price, and then it came out. Now, if you do like a cube, three-dimensional accounting, you will do, forecasting. Yes, which is advanced accounting, whereby you will do, analysis, and you'll guess things. So now what these people do in the Kabbalah on the opposition, what they do is they use the same system is in marketing and in media, and they use their lies to create the history. That what they've done is, one, they put their input to show this is the input of history. Two, they calculate the output, which is confusion. And then three, they'll put in all the extras to make sure that everything is confused. You see? Yes. So this is why people call these people the Kabbalah or Kabbalah. And now the thing is, people wanted to know, what is the point of view on the Islamic side? Now, the thing is, why the Muslims have never explained this to the world, I don't know. Anyway, Raphael, any questions? Go ahead.
Oh,
Based on today's things so far.
yes, as always, there's plenty of questions, but also most of them that I put down either have become irrelevant, and the one thing I had even put down was the question, Mohammed is Baphomet question mark, but you actually explained that today, so thank you very much for that. To
Uh,
end this out, I just wanted to make sure that we do justice to the title that you chose in terms of King Arthur is
yeah,
Attila
we
the
didn't
Hun.
speak.
You already
Yes.
kind of mentioned it, just if there's anything to add on to this that it's complete for you.
But then it might not be King Arthur. I don't know because we today we spoke about many different things. We talked about free energy, or you could call it free energy power
Yeah,
stations,
of
free
course,
energy
free energy
churches.
always goes well. Yeah, maybe we'll
Yes,
go
free
for that.
energy churches. Because the thing is, it's very important. This people don't realize. Can you believe that they've just walked in the 1920s and 30s? They've walked into Istanbul after defeating, yes, the last so-called, empire that represented this Quran that is fighting the New World Order. Yes, and then they've just walked in, and then they've said, "Hey, we are going to redecorate this place to turn it into a museum."
Yeah.
Oh no, no, no! The decoration is ancient. It's actually old.
Yeah.
And you can see them painting it and doing it there. And they're saying, oh, it was actually hidden under the
So
Muslim
maybe
covering
maybe
or
to
the
break it
plaster.
down and make it very simple, the very least we could assess or assume right now is whatever those buildings were, there were some kind of industry. That means at
Yeah,
the
yes,
very
yeah.
just
I
one
use the word
sentence.
industry.
That means at
Yes.
the
Do you
very
know why?
least, this colonization and rewriting of history was at the very least used to deindustrialize huge
Yeah,
regions and make them economically dependent, at the least, right?
yeah. I'll give you an example. If you're going to use these posh words, people will get confused. It seems like you and me. I want to rule the world. I want to be the boss. I want to turn everybody into my dogs. I want, I, I want to chill. I want to chill, man. In the American way. So what do I do? I want my Ferraris. I want everything. I want my airline jets. I want my palaces. Yeah, I want to own my skyscrapers. So you know what? Let's do it. We
Hmm.
got to make up all the fake history. We got to do all this and that. So that's why they did it. It's just greed.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's greed. It's nothing else. There was nothing else to it. And now the thing is, if people want to be divided and whatever, like there is going to be some people who are going to say, oh no, Denmark, we were not the Huns. No, the modern definition of Hun has changed. And somebody who is in Hungary is going to say, oh no, we are not the Vikings. It's because they've given classification. They're doing this right now before everybody's eyes. That the thing is, one person, I've noticed this in the Islamic world. I'm an Iraqi. You are a Palestinian. You are a Jordanian. You are a
Yeah.
Syrian. In North Africa, I'm Moroccan, you're Algerian, you're Tunisian. These borders didn't exist. There was no such border between Hungary, Bulgaria, Germany, Poland, Austria. We don't. How can you say that somebody in Vienna or he's got German blood and somebody in Budapest has got Hungarian blood? What is the
Yeah.
difference?
Yeah.
There is no proof whatsoever, and anybody who says I've got proof is lying. Is lying. It seemed like somebody in New York saying, "Oh, I'm American." Imagine this in 500 years' time. Oh, Donald Trump was the president of this country called Alaska. Somebody else will say, "No, no, no, King Donald Trump. He was he was king of Texas." Somebody else will say, "No, no, no. His army migrated from California and he invaded, New York and Washington D.C. and he took over with his army." No, he was the
Mm.
ruler of everything. So in the same way, yes, there are going to be people in Hungary who are going to say, "Attila the Hun, he was ours." Yes, and
Right.
then there's going to be people in Turkey who are going to say, "No, he was
Yeah,
ours."
yeah, makes total
Then
sense.
the
Yeah.
Arabs are going to say,
Shattered
"No, he was."
empire. Shattered empire. Yeah. Hmm.
Yes, it was a global empire that started off after the Exodus from Moses. Yes, this is where it started. Yes, and this is why people call it the Empire of God or the Kingdom of God. Yes, Christ was one of the men who was found in this kingdom, and then after the Prophet Muhammad, and it says that he is the last or the final. This empire disappeared after him. Yes,
Hmm.
think about it. This is why Anatoly Fomenko shows the apocalypse or Armageddon. We'll have to talk about this next time. Romageddon, Rome. Yes,
Hmm.
Armageddon, Romageddon, Rome. Yes, that the apocalypse and all this thing has already happened. Yes,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
he says this, and the thing is, but there's the other thing, like the coming of Christ may not be, part of Armageddon. Armageddon could be separate from Apocalypse because different versions and different things. These Vatican documents are not clear.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll go through these Vatican documents next time. That will actually open up some of these manuscripts in some parts of
Great.
the world. That when people see this, that even you are going to think, oh my God, this is worse than I thought. All this time I looked at these manuscripts in these museums, like, that are found in Bohemia or that are found in Sofia or found in Venice or in Florence. If you can actually see how they're creating these manuscripts right now, then
Yeah.
you know what you're going to think? Oh my God, I cannot believe this, David.
Well,
I
even though
really
I'm
can't
very
believe.
interested in history, in this sense, I luckily never get so far as to get so deeply into those things as to try to make sense of it because I could just sense it's so convoluted, it's so strange. So thank you for an alternative perspective, but I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to looking at those and everyone can check themselves. Yeah. Again, thank you
yeah,
very much, David. A lot of
yeah.
amazing information,
Oh,
as I'm sure everybody listening
okay.
agrees.
Yes, let's leave it at that. Yes. Okay, yes. Have a nice evening,
Thank
Raphael,
you very
anyway.
much. Thank you,
Yeah.
David.
Okay, yes. Bye bye.